waste too much time, but
You got it, buddy.
yeah. So I mean, I guess we could start basic. Like, how's everything holding up? You got like about a week, right? A week before the event. Yeah, a little
Oh
more than
yeah,
that.
tomorrow will be a week for weigh-ins, and then the next Saturday. I'm excited. Got some good fights on the card. A lot of them dropped out, but you know how that is, Brian, man. Um, I had a total of 18 fights. I'm down to 13, but I was a little bit concerned with 18, so it's fine that it dropped.
It's a big thing with even. I mean, even when you go to the top levels of MMA, dropouts are a big thing. And how does that kind of affect you in your show, since you're such a new show and you're on the regional scene? What's the impact of when you do have 18 fights and then you drop out five of them?
Well, let me tell you from my past experience when I did my first show a year ago or so, uh, I only booked the exact amount of fights that I wanted, and that was a total of 12. And let me tell you, 2 weeks prior to the show, I had about half of them drop out. So I had a total of six, and then the day of the fight at the pre physical, one of the fighters was so dehydrated that they wouldn't allow him to fight. So I had a total of five fights on my first show.
Oh,
So I learned from that after that you need to overbook than to exactly book the amount of fights you want.
definitely. So I think.
So
Go ahead.
that's what I do. I try to get a good variation of pros and amateurs that are renowned, and I try to match them as best as possible. And I'm satisfied with my last shows that I've had. Very exciting shows. It wasn't one sided. And I hear that from a lot of fighters at a lot of promotions. They set up fights. But what they call can fights, and to me that's not exciting, man. It's like everybody's gonna know the outcome of a fight like that. At my shows, you're not gonna know the outcome of the fights because these guys are evenly paired.
And you just got into it a little bit there. I think this might be a good kind of moment to get into it. But how did you really get into the beginning? How did you really get into promoting MMA on the regional scene?
I've been in the entertainment business for over 25 years, Brian. Currently a booking agent on both of the CT casinos. I book the major musical acts there.
Oh wow.
I also I also book outside of the state of Connecticut. I deal with Vegas, Miami, and Atlantic City, and some international venues too. I've been in martial arts, got for over 20 years. I've always had a passion for boxing, and then MMA started. Um, I hold a black belt in American Kempo. I'm a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and I decided to get into this after someone asked me at my school if I could book Hoist Gracie
Uh huh.
since I was since I was a booking agent.
Yeah.
So I ended up making some phone calls, and I ended up finding a contact for Hoist Gracie, and I ended up holding at the time a last man standing seminar grappling tournament.
Oh wow. And
Okay.
Hoist was there.
And Hoist was there. Hoist was the one who presented, the $1,000 to the winner, and it was an absolute, uh, tournament. Any experience level would get in the ring. It was just a mat at the time, and you would grapple, no time limit. And the guy, who ended up, lasting the longest. Let me tell you, that was a long day. This was like back to back matches.
Yeah.
You didn't have no time. You didn't have time to take a break.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a well renowned, grappler. Um, you probably have heard of the name Dan Simler.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up walking away with $1,000, and the rest is history. And from there, me and an associate started Ammo, and we expected it at the time to do MMA fights in the state of Connecticut, but it wasn't legal. We found out after the fact.
Mm.
So rather than just walking away from the concept and the idea, we decided to hold grappling tournaments that basically started it all for us. And we've been doing that going into 4 years already, and it's very successful. My grappling tournaments are very successful. You know, I hold about 6 of them a year, and I attract top tier guys. We do super fights, and we do, challenges, and they're exciting. And after, waiting like almost 2 years for Connecticut to get their stuff straight, and they weren't getting it straight, I decided to cross the border, the state line, and go into the state of Mass. And I had an affiliation with Eastern State Exposition, aka the Big E. So I was able to, partner up with them to start holding my MMA shows, and this is going to be my sixth one occurring next week. So it was a learning process, getting into both aspects, as I've never done anything like that. But I felt that, I book these renowned groups around the world at these venues. It can't be that much of a difference. Rather than having a singer go up on stage, I have fighters go up into a ring.
Yeah, definitely. So
So
going back a little bit, like what kind of piqued and started your interest in martial arts? Did you like it as a kid? Were you a big boxing fan as a kid? Because I know you mentioned that.
I was a I was a boxer. I mean, I was one of those type of kids that was always getting in trouble out in the streets. So, rather than getting into trouble out there with the law or getting myself, in trouble with going to jail, I started boxing at my local, YMCA, and I got into it. I started, acquiring a passion for it. I was Golden Glove champion, as a young kid. And then, Bruce Lee was popular back then too. So, I wanted to be Bruce Lee. So I started, simulating, moves from the TV. Never trained for it until I got in my teens, where my parents basically, subscribed me to this school. And I got into American Kempo, and I completed it. I'm a first degree in American Kempo, and under Master Ed Parker, basically renowned as the father of martial arts, that introduced martial arts into America. So, you know, I'm gonna tell you, I did a lot of underground fighting also, where I would go to back in the days. They didn't have the type of gyms they have today.
Yeah.
They have all free weights, and they had a boxing ring there. You would go in there and just start boxing, and I was one of those guys that would go into the ring and just test out my skill and my strength, and I did pretty good. Let me tell you, man. If I was 20 years younger, you'd be seeing me in those cages. I can guarantee you that I'd be in those cages today, man. But it is what it is. My time has come and gone, so I felt that, I have the opportunity and the potential to create something for these kids that, that need to get that experience, and also provide them that platform for them to, showcase their skills and, evolve and get to the next level. That's what I'm all about, Brian. I'm here to help. I'm here to help everybody, man, that wants that help. And, I think the people that have met me and know me, they can tell you that I'm a fair guy when it comes to, helping them out in their careers. And that's what I'm all about. As I mentioned, I've been in the entertainment business for over 25 years. Brian, I don't know if you know anything about the entertainment business, but I'm a booking agent. I make a good chunk of change booking groups.
Yeah.
So it's not about the money. Let me tell you, it's not about the money. I live very well, and I do it for the passion. Okay, I have a passion for it, and I'm willing to help whomever out there. Because when in their situation, like I told you, when I was getting in trouble on the streets, I got into boxing, and that kept me off the street. And thank God it did, because I probably wouldn't have been here today if that didn't occur. So I see that, and with a lot of kids today, I've been to a lot of schools and I've seen them, and they tell me their stories, and you know what? I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I can relate with them. And I tell them that I'm here for you. Even in my tournament, I've taken a lot of guys from schools that don't have the fee to compete in my tournaments. I said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. It's not about that. And no one so far has ever said anything negative about me in regards to me, the person, and also my franchises. I'm happy what we've accomplished, and it's not only me, there's a lot of people that have joined the AMMO team, it's a collaboration, there's also a collaboration with a lot of the franchises, the schools, the promotions, the media and all that, like yourself, to to help. The way I look at it, man, your line of business and my line of business are here for one purpose. We all have a passion for something, man,
Yeah.
and we try to assist whomever wants that to be able to get that exposure, and that assistance to get them to the next level. I'm happy to say that I've seen a lot of kids come through my grappling tournament that's come into my MMA that have gone beyond, and I'm happy. And you know what? I'm close with them today, and they respect me for what I've done and helped them. I've sponsored people to fight at other promotions and other grappling tournaments. That should tell you it's not about just me. If they say, Bill, we're looking for a sponsor, I don't say I can't do that because it's a different promotion, because it's not about that for me. It's about helping that kid.
Even in the short time that you've put on MMA shows, like you've had some pretty high level guys in at your events. Mike Kimball is a guy who's fought on your show, I think twice. Your MMA shows. You've had Vovka Clay, Ali Zabian. Ali Zabian just fought in Bellator. Obviously, Mike Kimball is a contracted fighter for Bellator. So I was wondering, well, you were elaborating a little bit on it, but what's it like to see these guys who have fought for you and even probably done grappling tournaments for you, and now they're at the high levels like Bellator and all that?
Right. I mean, I think everybody in New England has come through ammo in one aspect or the other, through my grappling or, through my MMA shows. I'm getting hit up. I'm getting hit up all the time, to get on the cards, but, I'm happy to assist, like an example, like Mike Kimball. Mike Kimball always supported ammo grappling, and then when I started my MMA promotion, he came in, he fought twice, he ended up winning the 145 title. From there, after he crossed over to his pro debut at Bellator, and the rest is history with him. We're always still in contact. I'm really good friends with his coach and mentor, Daniel Thunder, and there's a lot of guys. It's like Ryan Sanders, John Manley, and there's going to be a lot more coming, a lot of big more names, coming through my thing. I'm right now in the process, of negotiating, deals to try to get outside of New England. So, I'm very excited about that. But, one thing at a time, I don't want to mention anything that may not transpire to reality. So, I just go with the flow. If it happens, it happens. If it not, oh well. But yeah.
So shows this upcoming show you have here, I believe it's the most pros you've had on the fight card. And obviously, when you're first starting out promotion, even promotions who've had like 50, 60 shows, they have a lot of amateurs because it's kind of hard to get the cash flow going for it. But this show for you, it's pretty stacked, just up and down, even the amateurs, and you've got a lot of pros. So
I'm glad you brought that up, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because as you mentioned, a lot of these promotions, they rather go for the Amis, and you mentioned why? The cash.
Yeah.
As I mentioned to you earlier, it's not about the cash for me, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's about, just to have, a well-rounded card. And I feel this is a well-rounded card. A lot of these guys, these Amis, they don't have a following like the pros.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a following, but they need that opportunity to be able to get to that next level, as to become a pro. So that's what I do. I have variations.
Yeah.
I can do a whole full pro card, but I go, why? That wouldn't be fair for the Amy that's trying to get that opportunity. So what I do is I get a mixture in there. I try to get various franchises, schools to participate. I bring in the pros that are interested in fighting in my card, and I try to match them equally. Like, at the end of the day, I don't delegate. I don't say, you got to fight this guy. I ask. I present the fighters to their camps. I present the fighters to the actual fighter themselves, and they make that choice and decision if they want to fight or not. So that's how it is with me. It's like I'm like I mentioned, I'm here for them, not for myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when we look at, I just put up the fight card there for people to see. And I can put it up later too when I edit it up. But like I was just saying, it's a stacked card. You got guys like Connor Berry. Will Smith is making his professional debut. Dan Cormier's he's a veteran of the area. Then even in the grappling, you got Nicole Shattuck, who's gone around, done a lot of the grappling tournaments around here. She's fighting Danielle Heinley, who's a standout fighter from this area. Um, how like what was the mindset like when you were kind of matching this up? I know we talked about it a little bit, but like how did this kind of come together? What were you thinking when you got all these big names that are from New England? Even John Manley, I forgot to mention him, and Holloway.
Great, great. I mean that's going to be a great fight right there.
Yeah.
In its own, both guys, they're trying to make their mark. I know Holloway is being considered for the UFC Contender Series, so that's an awesome fight. As I mentioned, I announced the show, and I started getting hit, and I start creating a roster of all the pros that are interested, of all the Amis that are interested. I'll always open up my shows with grappling because I started, ammo with grappling. So, I give a lot of these guys that are grappling in my MMA shows are holding grappling champions in my tournaments. So I give them the opportunity to participate in these shows, and make money. They make money.
Yeah.
So I try to be fair with that. And, I go through the list of all the guys that I have, and I try to evenly match them. I look at their records and all that, and like I said, I usually present them to their camp, and then they have the final say if it's a go or no go.
Mm-hmm. So, if I mean, obviously, when you put together these shows, and as a promoter or even someone involved with promotion, every fight that you've matched up, those are like they're dear to you. You think all of them should be amazing, but is there like one or two fights, maybe three fights that you're really looking forward to that when you mash them up and both camps agreed, you're like, wow, this is gonna be a really amazing fight?
I can tell you that off of the guys that have already have fights in their pockets. The new guys, I only know them, from my grappling tournaments. I don't know anything about their stand up, but a lot of them turn out to be exciting and great fights. These AMI debut fights, the pro fights you can determine, how it's going to be, based off of their past fights and their experience. So, I mean, I'm excited for the Manley fight, the Conor fight. I know Harrison is making a mark for himself, and he's going to be going against Robbie. William Smith, he's no joke, and Dan Cormier, he asked if there was a possibility for him to fight at 115 that he feels is his true weight, and I found him an opponent. So that fight right there is going to be exciting, and it's going to be new for our league and our area. And I have the Randy is going to be defending his title against Kenny Champion. Both of those guys there, I can guarantee you that's going to be a slugfest right there himself. I have the two females, Glory Watson and Lisa Marina. Both of them run undefeated. One is going home with a loss that night. So that is going to be a battle because no one's going to want to go home with a loss. So I don't know if you've heard or seen anything about Sage Phillip. That's a kid that you got to keep an eye out. He made a statement at my last fight, and I know a lot of franchises wanted the opportunity to have some of their fighters go against him. But at the end of the day, I said that, I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to try to pair him with someone that I think that, will be beneficial for his camp or the other opponent's camp. And I matched him up with someone that is equivalent to him in record. So, that's also going to be an awesome fight, and Nate against Aaron Hughes. Aaron Hughes fought Randy for the title at the last show. He didn't get that win, but he's coming back to fight Nate Guerrero from FFA, and whoever wins that fight is going to get that opportunity again to go for that 145 title. So and then the rest of the guys are all debuts, but it's going to be an exciting card. I can guarantee you, people will be talking about this card.
Yeah. So one question I kind of wanted to elaborate on was the future of ammo, because it's a pretty fresh, new promotion, obviously. You've been around since 2017, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so where do you see kind of the far distant future? So maybe like five years or plus, where do you see ammo being? I know you talked about that you were looking to expand in other territories. Where do you think that your whole operation will be in 5 years?
I've already been invited to bring my grappling tournament to Vegas
Oh
and
wow,
Miami. So
that'd be
I
great.
have those, I have those opportunities already. Like I said, I don't want to take any steps until I basically situate myself and thoroughly establish myself here before I decide to do that.
Uh huh.
You know and it's only me, so hopefully in a year or so, I'm going to bring in people to basically oversee those ventures
Uh huh.
because Bill's not going to be going to Vegas or
No, no.
Miami, when
Yeah.
I got a family here and other stuff that I got to handle. So,
Yeah.
I plan on basically, holding these different, tournaments and shows, but having someone oversee them that runs their own ammo version on that part of the country. So that's in discussion. Like I said, right now I'm in discussion with some venues in New England to try to get ammo to the next level. Uh, um, I've sold my last three shows out, and I'm definitely expecting to sell this one out.
Uh huh.
So I need room to grow, and we've been looking for bigger venues, and hopefully in July I'll be at a different venue that can hold double the quantity that the Big E holds today.
Mm, yeah, that would be very, very interesting. So looks like. Do you have any final thoughts you have about the upcoming card? Any kind of final thoughts?
I'm just excited, that I've been given this opportunity to create ammo, and I'm very happy that I've been welcomed by a lot of the different schools and a lot of the fighters. I'm in close communication with a lot of them every day on a personal basis, and I appreciate that. And I just want to thank everybody out there that has supported me and Ammo and my team. And I just want to let everybody know that we're here for you. And anybody's welcome to reach out to me to talk to me. I want to thank you, Brian, for giving me this opportunity, buddy. And
Of
hopefully,
course.
we'll stay in contact
Oh,
and
definitely, definitely.
keep in touch. And hopefully, you'll be at my shows. You guys are welcome anytime. And I'm excited for the future of Ammo.